Cal Stanford now facing roadblocks to get into the Atlantic Coast Conference. Roadblock. Now, does that turn around and go the other way, or is that like a stop where you just have to answer some questions and keep it moving? Is it a toll booth? What are we talking about here?
I'm sorry. You talking about is this a sobriety checkpoint?
Is this a sobriety checkpoint? Is it a 4-lane highway down to one open lane? Like, is it a roadblock? Turn around. There's nowhere to go.
It's like road work on Wade Avenue.
Yeah, exactly. Is it turn around, or is there still a way forward? And who is managing the messaging for the ACC right now? Because to me, the only way that your interest or possible interest or the conversation of involving Stanford and Cal into the future of the Atlantic Coast Conference, the only way that message gets out is if you are, to use the football analogy, you're not even on the 1 yard line trying to score. You're on the 6-inch yard line and it's first down. Like, you don't let it out until you know it's happening. Andrea Adelson was on with Adam Gold. You heard a clip of it to start the show. This is more from Andrea about the ACC being close to the votes needed.
They're close to having enough yes votes. They need 12 to go ahead and say yes to Cal and Stanford. They're very close to that number, which is why the discussions are going to continue in the hopes that maybe somebody decides to change their mind. Right. The fact that this has become more open and more public is just a byproduct of Cal and Stanford kind of hanging out there and available because of what's happened with the Pac-12.
Close to the votes? Close to the votes.
Need 12 of 15 because Notre Dame does factor into this for some reason.
That's true. There's something. There's a cliche, right? What is it? Horseshoes and hand grenades. That's the only time close matters. Mm-hmm. Close doesn't mean we should know about it. Close means we shouldn't know about it. Done means we should know about it.
Yeah.
Pete Thamel covers, obviously, he's been right on top of all of this. Tweeted out, this is what I was woken up to. So I checked my phone, and this was sent to me a few different ways. Pete Thamel, sources. ACC presidents met tonight, and the pursuit of Stanford and Cal for conference membership has, quote, hit significant roadblocks. There's always been long odds because there wasn't ever a significant value add. There's always been long odds? Do you know, here's why I'm so confused by the messaging. Do you know any school that the SEC was discussing bringing in that didn't end up joining the SEC?
Nope.
No, because they don't let that get public. Trust me, every single school that they've discussed did not one day end up in the SEC. As soon as it was leaked that the Big Ten was interested in Oregon and Washington and Washington were going to end up in the Big Ten. The Pac-12 was holding super double secret meetings. They were taking meetings that were supposed to be at 10 a.m. and moving them to 7:45. They were doing full court press to make Oregon and Washington stay. And the Big Ten was like, nope. If you can get up at 7:45, luckily we're further east, so we'll get up at 8:45 our time. It'll still be earlier than you. It wouldn't have gotten out that the Big Ten was interested in Oregon and Washington until they got to the point where they knew they were on the way already. They were just waiting for the T's to be crossed and the I's to be dotted. There's a certain element of professionalism that is escaping the ACC throughout this whole process. There's a reactionary jumpy, right? They're backpedaling. They're on their heels. That's not like, think of the secrets the SEC and Big Ten have kept over the last 2 years.
Many.
We don't even know how many. Correct? Because they keep secrets. I'm like, Texas and Oklahoma. Do you remember the feeling when you found out Texas and Oklahoma were leaving the Big 12 for the SEC? It came out of nowhere. And I guarantee you the SEC didn't put that together in an afternoon.
I remember being in Charlotte for ACC Media Days 2 years ago, and all of a sudden it just blindsided everybody. Even people that we were talking to from all the universities in the ACC were like, wait, hold on, what? This just happened? No one knew.
Because the loose lips sink ships, and the SEC is a good ship right now. Well built. The Big Ten had USC and UCLA in the palm of their hands. Coming to the Big Ten, nobody knew. The ACC explored Stanford, Cal for like 20 minutes. The world knew. It took that long. There's no honor or pride or a sense of community in the ACC right now. I mean, like, you'd hate to do it, but at this point, like, there's no private conversations amongst ACC conference members. Right? A board of trustee calls another board of trustee. They're like, "Hey, this stays between me and you, but let's chat." 20 minutes later, they're quoted as like a anonymous high-ranking source. It's like, oh, come on. You're going to have to start having everyone you have a conversation with sign an NDA.
This drives into that conversation or the narrative of the ACC being weak.
Yes.
Like it's crumbling. Like it's slowly eroding. You can't see the foundation, but it's starting to erode. This just feeds that narrative even further. And
it feeds what Florida State is trying to do.
Yeah.
Right? Weaken weaken the people that are holding them together. Mm-hmm. Right? Weaken the ACC and then find a crack and run out of the conference. I just Stanford and Cal. At this point, I think you have to bring them in, but I don't care a ton. Like, I don't think it does a ton. I don't think the next media rights deal is gigantic because of them. But once you reach this point, everybody knows your business in every different direction. It's every time the negotiations, or not even negotiations, recruitment, the interest sways a little bit this way. We all know about it, and I hate that. Right? Have you ready for this? This is a reference. One of my favorite books is called The Five Families. It's I don't know, 2,000 pages. It's on the organized crime, mafia, and mob in America.
Okay,
whole history. You'd be surprised how many times people found that were high-ranking members in one of the five families, one of the mob families. They found that their living room was bugged, and it was only because everything they said immediately went to someone else, and they were just like, okay, something's going on here, right? The ACC has that going on right now. Right? They have a meeting at 6:15, says, oh, roadblocks are popping up. By 6:30, every insider in college football has it. It's like, are we bugged? Or do we have a mole? Do we have a rat in the family?
Who's the rat?
And that's kind of how it feels right now. You wake up with a bunch more information, and I'm going, I shouldn't know any of this. I feel like I'm peeking into someone's into their living room. It's like, I feel weird, right? They don't know I'm looking. The ACC, Stanford, Cal, everything that's happening right now should have happened behind closed doors in the dark. We should have just gotten, on a Thursday, hey, Stanford and Cal, ACC, talking to each other. On a Friday, done deal. That's how it goes. That's how it goes for every other conference. Why does it not go that way for the ACC? We have to take this whole ride.
We even saw it with the Big 12 with Colorado, Arizona State, Utah. Like, yep, these votes are happening. 2 days later, it's official.
Yeah. Arizona's in on Wednesday, and it's only a matter of time before Arizona State and Utah join. And then almost by the time you're done that sentence, they're like, invitations has been sent to Arizona State and Utah. Roadblocks. Well, you know what? Fix the road before you let me know you're driving on it.